Coming up on Varsity Sports Now, St. Thomas More has rolled through its early season schedule, but just how good are the Cavaliers? We'll get a gauge on that from the team's head coach.
Bismarck is one of the hottest teams in North Dakota high school baseball. Find out where the Demons stand in my latest power ranking.
The Howard Wood Dakota Relays are just over a week away now. Alex Heiner will let us know how area athletes are preparing for one of the region's biggest events.
All that plus Jandy approved plays and the return of Diamond Tips just ahead on Varsity Sports Now.
And how is everybody doing? Jay Elson, joined by Jason and Aaron. Again, this is Varsity Sports Now, talking baseball, talking softball, even a little track and field again this week. Lots to cover here over the next 30 minutes, and let's get right to it. We're going to take a look at South Dakota baseball starting in Class A. Washington saw its 6-game winning streak come to an end with a 3-2 extra inning loss to Harrisburg on Tuesday night. They're now 6-3 on the season. Head coach Chris Janisch would like to see a little more consistency from his club, but is pleased with the toughness his team has shown since starting the season 0-2.
We're blue collar. We're not going to be the most talented team on the field, but we're certainly going to work hard. We're going to work for everything we get, and we're going to make sure the other team beats us legitimately. We're not going to make mistakes, and we're going to make sure we play the game the right way.
All right, now despite the Tuesday night loss to Harrisburg, Washington, as we mentioned earlier, 6-3 on the season and into your top 5 for the first time.
They've really put a nice streak together, and the loss early on to Yankton. Avenged those losses with a big win on Monday. Got a good pitching performance, winning on the road in Yankton. So that, in my mind, puts them a little bit ahead of Yankton with the road win, even though they did lose to Harrisburg. So it's kind of a mess right now. Who do you put at number 2? Who do you put at number 3? This is what I've chosen for this week because I think these are the hot teams. Roosevelt even lost on Tuesday night to Watertown. They split one. That has a lot to do with the pitching matchups that they had to encounter. They are still the best team in the state. After that, though, I put Washington, Yankton, Brookings, and Lincoln, but you also have to consider Watertown. Huron's playing some pretty good ball. Pierre is a winning record. There's some teams out west that have been beating up on some teams from the east, so you could consider some of the Rapid City teams. Even Sturgis is playing well, so it's a big mess right now.
Well, and you mentioned, we've talked about Brandon Valley all season long, and this is a team that has not lived up to expectations to this point.
They haven't gotten consistent hitting yet this year. They split some games in Aberdeen, an up-and-coming team, another team I haven't talked about, and lost a couple games out west on their trip, but came back and got a nice win against Lincoln on Tuesday, so you never know what to expect. They're definitely not out of the picture.
I have a feeling that these rankings are not set in stone.
Oh, boy.
We're going to see a little bit more movement here.
You could make an argument. Right? You literally could put these, mix them up in a blender, and make an argument, and, you might be right.
I think Roosevelt, despite the couple of losses over the last couple of weeks, I think you said it was still probably clearly the best team, both on paper and in talent, but
they played a lot of close games, too.
Doesn't always lead to championships.
Needed a 6th-inning home run from Jason Spicer on Monday to beat O'Gorman, another team in the mix here, too. They're definitely a strong team as well. So, anything could happen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Class A continues to shake out as the season progresses. In Class B, St. Thomas More off to a solid start of the defense of its latest Class B title. Cavaliers picked up 2 more wins on Monday night and have given up a total of 1 run now over their last 5 outings. But if there's one weakness with this team, Jason, I think you'll agree, it's their strength of schedule. They've not played a lot of tough teams, and this boy head coach Jeff Pekny is well aware of that, but says he'll learn a little bit more about his club here in the coming weeks.
We play Stephen Central and Sturgis and Pierre quite a bit, so we get at the Class A teams. We'll battle with them, and it's a really good challenge for us. And we've already split with Sturgis this year, and we'll play Stephen Central about 2 more times, and possibly Pierre coming up in the future.
So Jeff Pekny and the Cavaliers still firmly entrenched atop your Class B rankings, but there's another team, Parkston, that's been playing some pretty good baseball of late here.
First, I want to finish my thought on St. Thomas More. They have been able to compete with some of the best teams in Class A, so they're definitely one of the best teams for sure in Class B. But like you said, Parkston is a team maybe they have to worry about. I had a chance to go watch Parkston on Monday to see just how good they were, and they put 2 solid performances together against Hanson, against a good pitching Hanson team. In fact, showed some power, hit a home run, got some movement with runners on base, good timely hitting. So they're one of the undefeated teams left in Class B. I think they could be a contender along with, you see Vermilion, Madison, Bonham, some of the usual suspects in Class B, but Parkson could be one of those teams kind of moving up the ladder this year.
Let's talk about some of the big games coming up over the next week. There are a few of them both in Class A and B.
Yeah, I want to see how Roosevelt responds after losing a road game to Watertown. How are they going to do against Brookings? That's coming up Thursday night. And then Yankton plays Roosevelt. Mitchell plays Yankton. A lot of these teams are good. And then in Class B, just seeing how good Bonham is. They've lost 2 games already this year, 2 to tough teams. They've beaten Vermilion, though, in their one meeting earlier this year. So that will show kind of where they lie in this Class B that's mixed up as well.
All right, good stuff. Well, with 5 straight wins, Bismarck is starting to command some attention in North Dakota. Jason will offer up some thoughts on the Red Hot Demons after this.
Varsity Sports Now, presented by Shield.